Good morning and welcome to My Left Ear. I'm Carrie Freeman, the writer, producer, director of My Left Ear. I just enjoy saying that. This is video 168 on Saturday, August 12th. So welcome, welcome. This is a left-leaning YouTube channel. So if you're super right-leaning, you're not going to like me. So go away with love. What do I want to tell you? I have my glasses on temporarily because I know the reflection is annoying, but my eyesight was like a little weird this morning. When I'm not doing this and I'm not on Patreon, I just did a Patreon 2 days ago called The Story of My Hair. I think it's entertaining. I've been getting a little feedback, so we'll see. You can always join Patreon for $8 a month. Catch up on everything I've done. And if you don't want to stay, you can just quit at any time. That's a little plug. If you like my channel, please like and please subscribe. That would be great. When I'm not here, I'm an author. I'm rewriting 2 books right now that are written, but I'm rewriting. And I'm a change agent. So I do private sessions with people, either through hypnotherapy and life coaching or psychic coaching. And I will tell you that a lot of times when I'm doing hypnotherapy with a client, the psychic stuff totally kicks in. So it's a little bit like a twofer in a way. And if you are interested in looking at my cheat sheet of services, just email me. My email's down below, carriesleftEar@gmail.com. Easy. So here I am. I'm going to disseminate a lot of accruing news, and I'm going to do psychic commentary on it and runes. I've thrown the runes, and I have stories for you today. And lastly, as you know, this is for entertainment purposes only. So we're going to see how I do without my glasses. I'm going to start today with good evidence. I was so touched yesterday, but not surprised, that a big picture or video of Chef Andres in Hawaii with his team feeding people. And he's a global hero in my world, and he needs to get like a huge, enormous award. I see him in the White House getting like anointed by Joe Biden, but God bless Chef Andres. I'm going to start with Ohio, the state of Ohio, which is a super red state. It's not even considered purple at this point, but it could. So the Ohio GOP tried to pull a really funky trick. It's not a surprise, is it? But the Ohio voters were really paying attention. I think they knew, don't trust these people. Don't trust them. Because on Tuesday, there was this pre-vote, and the voters of Ohio rejected a very evil proposal that they were trying to sneak in called Issue 1. And Issue 1 would have made it more difficult to amend the state constitution in terms of choice, abortion, and women's health rights, delivering a crucial victory to the pro-choice, pro-abortion supporters ahead of next November. So it's big for reproduction rights in the Ohio Constitution. A surprise, but the voters spoke. And I'm just going to interject something that's not in my outline, but My Left Ear told me that there's going to be a decrease in GOP voters. Like a lot of GOP voters aren't going to show up to vote. So I haven't thrown runes on it, but that came through my ear and I want to share that with you. So this secretly proposed constitutional GOP-driven amendment failed to garner the majority support it needed to pass. So the GOP are really up in arms, really angry, can't figure out what happened. Well, the people are smart and they were paying attention. That's what happened. And the GOP is not listening to the majority of people that think women should have choice. They should have health care, they should have choice, and if they need to get an abortion, they should be able to do it. Because we don't tell men what to do with their junk, right? We don't. So with all the precincts reporting, there were 58,000 absentee and provisional ballots to this measure. So now it would have, had it passed, raised the threshold for approving future changes to the state constitution through the ballot box. But no, the people spoke. So Ohioans rejected special interests and demanded that democracy remain where it belongs, in the hands of the voters, not the rich and the powerful. And that was said by Democrat Senator Sherrod Brown, who needs a lot of support right away in Ohio. If you have $5, send it to Sherrod Brown. He's fantastic, and it's a really close race there right now. But he's a really great Democratic senator. All right, so now, runes. I had a question. Will Ohio's win influence other states in the upcoming elections about choice, about abortion? I'll tell you what, there's a lot of talk, once again, this isn't in my outline, there's a lot of talk right now that Democrats who will be running are gonna make this an upfront issue because so many people want that right. Even people that don't like the idea of abortion want that right. And I have to tell you something, I don't like the idea. I've never had one because I paid such attention to what I was doing as a young woman. I was like, I never want to be faced with that, but I always felt it should be legal, all right? So nobody loves this idea, and I certainly don't either, but we have to have body autonomy, okay? All right, so will this influence other states? So the first rune I got was harvest, upright, a rune of beneficial outcomes, no quick results, 1 year. Harvest comes up again in this reading today. A full cycle before reaping the harvest. That's not a big surprise because everything takes time, right? The ground is prepared and the seeds have been planted. And although this is a long season to come to fruition, it offers encouragement. And we need encouragement and hope. We can't force this or push this, except remain diligent and focused and active. Then I got disruption, which is not the first time I got it in this reading either today. Change, freedom, liberation are all attributes. And that speaks to me as an answer that, yes, other states are going to fight. People are going to come out. This is going to be big damn issue. And it says breaking free from constricting identification with material reality. That would be the ban on choice. Disruption always operates in reversal. And in this reversal, the Democrats will gain momentum, upsetting the GOP. But the GOP has a nightmare. I mean, they created this Supreme Court who killed Roe v. Wade, and now they're in a pickle. They're in a pickle because people don't like this law. This rune of disruption is the Great Awakener, as the GOP has been out of touch with the majority of Americans and sleeping, and that was my little editorial. But the runes say the onset of power here may be such as to rip away the fabric of what we previously knew. That kind of makes sense. Then the second rune I got was signals, and this is the third rune, excuse me, signals. And signals is a message that there may be new life unfolding. Yes, momentum. I say it again. Keep in mind, this is the book, that scoundrels and arch thieves can be the bearers of wisdom. So they can also be the bearers of gifts inadvertently, not meaning to be the bearers of gifts. But there's this some like reverse thing here that's good. And it says, expect the unexpected. The rune is a call to a new life. Now, getting back to codifying Roe v. Wade is going to be difficult, but the momentum will carry us. Now we're moving on to Fulton, Georgia, FANI Willis. Now, I had said last week, and I like to take responsibility, that I thought her indictments would drop last week, even on Friday, but they didn't. And now the talk is, so I apologize once in a while, once in a while, but it's not like they're not going to drop. They're going to drop. And I think Monday or Tuesday. All right. But here's a thing from the Rolling Stone that is outrageous, and you may have heard about it. So Trump, running his mouth, made this bizarre, ugly announcement during a Tuesday campaign event, and this will be last Tuesday, in New Hampshire. So I'm just going to read this because it's written for me. Leveled a bizarre accusation against Fulton County District Attorney FANI Willis, suggesting that she had had an affair with a gang member she had been prosecuting. All right, take a deep breath, everybody. It's just unbelievable. All right, now we continue. Here's what he did. He didn't say her name. He said that, now this is Trump's words, they say there's a young woman, a young racist in Atlanta. They say she was after a certain gang and she ended up having an affair with the head of the gang or a gang member. And this is a person who wants to indict me. Now he's talking about FANI. Wants to indict me for a perfect phone call, Trump told supporters. Now, she responded. And she told Trump to supply her court with proof of his allegation by Monday. I think it's Monday, okay? Could be wrong about that, but I think it's Monday. Or she will add to the existing charges. So this guy's mouth just constantly gets him in trouble. But can you believe he did that? She also wrote a very long letter to her staff who are working from home for safety. And I guess it was a whole page, but she basically said, do not write, do not speak, do not defend me. There's nothing to defend. I want you to be safe and continue doing your really good work. And that was the essence of it. But she responded by just suggesting that he show up with proof of the allegations, or he's not going to have any proof. This is just him lying. And now, here's something that's sort of poetic, that yesterday, this is kind of interesting because she did drop indictments yesterday, but they weren't about Trump. So I wasn't completely wrong. But anyway, she dropped a RICO case yesterday that has nothing to do with Donald Trump. And it's sort of like this preview, and you wonder, did she do that? I mean, I am certain, first of all, that she was going to drop this other RICO case, not drop, but set forth anyway. So this wasn't a trick or a ploy. She just did it yesterday. And FANI Willis is one of the most experienced RICO prosecutors in the country. Now, it looks very much like, and I probably said this last week, that when she introduces these charges for Trump and his gang, it will be under the umbrella of RICO. All right, and it looks like it because she really likes doing RICO. She feels it's very clean and inclusive and she's very familiar with it, so she knows exactly what she's doing. So it says, FANI Willis is reportedly planning to criminally indict more than a dozen people next week in her criminal probe into Donald Trump's plot to overthrow the 2020 election in Georgia. According to the Rolling Stone, panic is setting in Trump world. They're all afraid of getting indicted, and they don't know. Right now, that indictment is sealed. They're afraid that the charges will be centered around RICO, and they are correct, which would essentially mean that everyone involved in the criminal plot would be held responsible for the actions of everyone else in the criminal plot. So it's sort of like glue, and nobody can separate themselves and say, all I did was deliver an envelope. Nope. They're going to be bunched together. It's not good for them. So even Georgia politicians that we don't really know yet have already said that they expect to be indicted. Okay. We don't know yet who has flipped. But we're going to find out. So we're going to know within days. Stay tuned. We're going to find out. All right. Now we come to my next, which is, I asked this question, will Trump show up at this first primary debate? And, you know, I was going to throw the runes, and I went, no, he's not going to. My left ear just knows that. He's a talker, and he wanted to, like, pretend that he was going to show up and go at it with Chris Christie, which he's not up to. So how he gets out of it, it's not fainting or putting himself in the hospital. It's that he won't sign the GOP pledge. And the GOP primary pledge is to vote for who the candidate that's chosen. And he doesn't want to do it. So if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't get to debate. And that's just fine with him. He does, you know, he's really the cowardly lion from The Wizard of Oz, except he's not sweet like the cowardly lion was. But you just poke him and he goes, ah! And he doesn't want that experience. So I say no. Sue me if I'm wrong. I don't think I'm going to be wrong. And now I'm going to go to my least favorite person on the planet, DeSantis. He just fired a Florida Democrat who was elected. This is the second time he's done it. So on Wednesday, DeSantis suspended Monique Worrell, the state attorney for Florida's 9th Judicial Circuit, accusing her of under-prosecuting criminals in her jurisdiction. Because, you know, he's a Nazi. So, along with his Secretary of State, and by an executive order, DeSantis and his Secretary of State accused Worrell of systematically allowing criminals to evade incarceration, either by dropping charges or declining to allege provable facts. So following the firing, Worrell came out swinging, and she's talking, and she's not backing down off of this. She's spitting angry. So she is a Democratic elected official who took office in 2021. She accused DeSantis of peddling a false narrative and engaging in political gamesmanship. I think that's really well put, don't you? And she said, we all know that this is not about policy or anything that I've actually done. She alleged about the governor, and his cronies have been searching for a reason for my suspension for well over a year now. Now, DeSantis claimed Worrell had been clearly and fundamentally derelict in her duties. Can I just tell you, I doubt it. So she's speaking out. Now, there's a rumor, but I think it's true. I believe it, that DeSantis wants to increase the death penalty guidelines, which is interpreted as he wants more people to be killed who've committed crimes. This guy, okay, you know. All right, so runes, because every day I tweet about him. You know, I don't live in Florida, but I know people that live in Florida, and they are just freaked out at what's being done to their state, and rightfully so. It's a nightmare. It's a fascist state now, and it's going to get worse. So I asked the runes. I should show you. Petey insisted on sitting next to me. I don't know. Let me see if you can see. So I pulled up a chair. So he's napping next to me because he just wanted to be near me. He came over when he saw me sitting here, and he started pawing at me and talking to me. And I went, oh, you want to sit next to me? And that's what he wanted. He's so cute. Okay. So I asked, will DeSantis be investigated on criminal charges? Meaning, if they can get him on crimes, they can probably get him out of Florida. Because otherwise, how are you going to get a governor out? You know, and this governor has everything set up to his advantage. You know, he's an operator. So I got the rune disruption, which made me very happy. And I didn't pull any other runes, to be honest with you, because I think, yes, I think Gavin Newsom might be suing him for dropping migrants off on the steps of the Capitol in Sacramento, California. But I want to know, because there's other things, you know, I mean, he's really out of control, this guy, and he just keeps pushing the envelope, and he's removed 2 elected representatives because they may have disagreed with him. That's outrageous. He shouldn't be able to do that. All right, so yes, reminding you about disruption, change, freedom, liberation, breaking free from constricting identification with material reality, and that would be Ron. Disruption always operates in the reversal. This rune is the Great Awakener. Hello, Ron. Good morning, Ron. Something's coming, Ron. And the onset of the awakening may be such as to rip away the fabric of what he previously knew. Okay, so I didn't even pull anymore. Once in a while, you know, I do that. I just go, that's it. I've heard. But it could take a while. You know, that's the only thing. We'll keep following up on it. He needs to be, he is, I think, a criminal, and he needs to be investigated deeply. And some of that might be going on that I don't even know about. You know, we know there's this thing with Disney. But I think Gavin Newsom is going after him about dropping off the migrants. And then, you know, he did relocate migrants like Abbott. And so this is kind of where I went. All right, next. DC Judge Tanya S. Chupton, extraordinaire, per Donald Trump's threats, the judge approved the protective order that was put in by Jack Smith, of course. And it outlines all the provisions clearly and in detail of what she's demanding, what she expects. He can look at these unsealed documents that are going to show him who flipped on him, who spoke. Top of his head's going to come off when he reads how they answered the questions. Most likely, honestly, okay? So it outlines all the provisions in detail. He may not, when he wants to go look at these documents, and we know he has a very short attention span, he'll glance, he'll want to turn everything over to his attorneys. He won't sit there, you know, and really read, if he writes any notes, I guess he's allowed a pencil or something, he has to turn those notes over to his attorneys. So he can't take any electronic devices into that room, whatever the room is. I disagree with this because I think he's such a cheater, he's such a criminal, that if he knows the room, he might hide a device in the room. I don't know. He's going to fail. All right, so I'm just going to tell you that. He may not bring anything electronic while reading the grand jury testimony. That's what's going to send him, that's going to make the top of his head come off. She said, and then she said this, which is such a gift to all of us. This trial comes before politics. Politics will not enter my courtroom. Yes, Miss Tanya. Or we'll go to trial sooner. Now, that just tells you she really knows Donald Trump, because he wants to put it off, delay, delay, delay. So she says, we're going to go to trial right away if you don't stop this mess running your mouth. So she's got his number, all right? Now, people have been asking, I was asked, well, what do you think? You know, do you think he's going to defy it? And my answer is, and was, he doesn't know how to follow her instructions. He has, you know, first of all, he's insane. And by the way, what was it? Thursday night, that would be the 10th. Lawrence O'Donnell had the most brilliant monologue at the beginning of his show. You might want to look it up, because he basically, the whole monologue was very seriously, not a comedy monologue. Donald Trump is insane, all right? It's a great monologue. You should look it up. So, you know, I did ask, will Trump receive a gag order? And he may, but what I think Judge is doing is we're going to try this, and then we're going to try that. But, you know, the guy has impulse problems. He cannot self-regulate. He's full of rage, and he likes to attack. He won't be able to. He's incapable of keeping his mouth shut about this stuff. So we just wait. It won't take very long for him to. So he won't get that. The next thing won't be a gag order. It'll be something else, and then it could be a gag order. But she's taking the steps so nobody can come back and appeal or, you know, complain about her. But I did ask the runes this. This is the last, I think. No, I asked maybe one other question. Will Trump's legal woes, all these indictments, charges, prevent him from running for president? Like, prevent him, like he's not allowed. And so the first rune I got was the rune of possessions in reverse, because if it's not in reverse, it's very positive. It's about acquisition. So it says, there is considerable frustration in your life. You may fall short in your efforts. You may be compelled to watch helplessly while everything you have gained has dwindled. Okay? Doubtful situations abound. You are being put in touch with the shadow side of yourself. And boy, is he. And the shadow side is, no, you're not allowed to run. And that's what he's banking everything on. He doesn't want to be president. He wants to pardon himself or get somebody in there that will pardon him. So we know about this. So warrior reversed, okay? Warrior reversed, weak. Life force leaks out through hasty choices. An association is short-lived. And that association is probably running for the presidency. It fulfilled its span. You did it, it's over, is what the runes are saying. This rune calls for examining your motives deeply, which he won't. He's not capable of that. The man has no insight. He's basically 11 years old. And then the last rune was interesting. I got fertility. But I got to say, fertility is about 1 year. Everything's going to come to fruition in a year. And it appears to me here, he's going to be gone. Now, a long time ago, and I probably said this in one of my shows, I don't remember, I thought, I don't know if he's going to run. And I have an associate or a colleague or a friend on Twitter who's really smart guy who served in the armed services and has been a social psychologist and all this stuff. He doesn't think he's going to run. But he said this, a month ago, my Twitter friend. So the fertility tells us this is a time of joyful deliverance, a new life, a new path, a new beginning. And it wouldn't bring this up. The reading wouldn't bring this up if we weren't relieved that he's gone. All right. Now, the last one here is Clarence Thomas, the grifter, the Supreme Court grifter. I put on the take. So ProPublica has been reporting. They did an incredible investigation into Clarence Thomas that took a lot of people, a lot of time, and a lot of paperwork. It wasn't easy for them, but here's what they discovered. Over the last 3 decades, Clarence Thomas has enjoyed bankrolled gifts. I should have brought some water over here. Bankrolled gifts and hospitality by his wealthy friends. But it's even more extensive than we knew. There were numerous flights on private planes, skybox tickets to sporting events, stays at luxury resorts, and a standing invitation to play at a high-end private golf club in Florida. So here's an example. 38 free vacations, yachts, yacht trips, the Bahamas, 26 flights on private jets, including, are you sitting down? A 747. So these costly trips and perks often went unreported on his financial disclosures. So everybody wants him to resign, probably everyone except Mitch McConnell. But I asked the runes, will Thomas be forced to resign? All right. And I got the warrior reversed, which is a weak. And it tells him there is danger through hasty or ill-timed action. Life force will be spilled away. You'll lose life force. And it directs, if an association is short-lived, and, his work on the Supreme Court is not short-lived, but this year, this association might be short-lived. It says, do not grieve. It has fulfilled its span. Well, he's gotten a lot of traction out of it, hasn't he? A lot of perks. Masters of trust and matters, I said masters, matters of trust and confidence are at hand now, reflecting his authenticity in the world, which he doesn't have authenticity, nor does his best friend, Ginny. And it asks, are you lusting after outcomes? Yes. Yes, he wants to live the good life. And then I got breakthrough, which signals a major shift or breakthrough in the process of self-change. Complete transformation would be his absence. The transition is so radical, and that would be him being forced to resign, that he no longer is able to live the ordinary life in the ordinary way. Meaning, it's over, Clarence, in about a year. And then fertility, finally. So fertility is about us and how we feel about Clarence Thomas. And fertility is a rune that indicates a time of joyful deliverance, a new life, meaning he's gone, a new path, he's out. And we're going to get a new member of the Supreme Court. Hopefully not crooked. There is a completion here that speaks of resolution and a new beginning. So that's what I have today for the runes, the questions, the current events, and I'm sure I haven't covered everything, but those are the essentials. I'll be back on Monday morning with the weekly runes. And, every week now, there's going to be like these explosions. So, you know, for anybody like me who says, you know, next week, it's like, yeah, you know, so what else is new? There's, you know what I mean? But the thing to do is the specifics on all of this. So there is a writer named Paul Rudnick, and I thought it was an actor, but he's not. He's a writer, and he's very amusing. And so he'll take a fact and he'll kind of rewrite it. So he wrote something kind of funny, tongue-in-cheek, about Clarence Thomas. So this is what he wrote. Petey's on his back. It's very cute. He's sound asleep. He wrote, "This is Clarence Thomas's day. Number 1, have a limo, bring him to a billionaire's private jet. 2, have the jet fly him to another billionaire's yacht. 1, 2, 3, have the yacht drop him at another billionaire's private island." I'm cracking up here. This is the last one. Have a trillionaire buy him a new home. This guy cracks me up. I read him every day. He's so funny. I love the satire. And then just to top it off, I want to report to you that Clarence Thomas claims that the SCOTUS needs no ethical oversight. Oh my heavens. It's just, you know, when things are too real and then they're like hysterical. That's what I would call. And you know what the good evidence is, guys? The good evidence is that Judge Tanya S. Chupton is swinging. I mean, she's like another version of Jack Smith, who's really for the rule of law, not afraid. And it's like, your campaign has nothing to do with me and what we're doing here. I don't care. And, you know, Jack Smith, these people are really our saviors, you know? They really are our saviors. So I want to just give them, you know, the good evidence button and say thank you to them. So I'll see you on Monday with the weekly runes. Have a good weekend. I think that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for your patience. Make peace. Make good evidence. And bye-bye. Bye-bye.